G'day guys, Jacko here for AYC Fishing Tournaments. This year in 2019 we're going to be bringing you plenty of content, stuff like product reviews, tournament recaps, winners interviews, and just plenty of content that'll be coming through this YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe, and there'll be plenty coming on this channel. Today we're just going to look at 5 of the best yellowbelly lures going around that most of the tournament guys would know about. 4 are pretty common, and I've thrown a left field option in there. So we'll start with these guys, soft vibes. These ones are the Jackall Transams. Great lure, can be fished at any depth, but they're most effective on the bottom. You can use them in a variety of retrieves, and there's a heap of different rigging options for them. You can run assist hooks on them that really can benefit your hook up rate and your hook retention rate. The guys from Team Racked Up won the grand final on these lures. They fished them exclusively. I was lucky enough to be on the boat when they did it, and it was pretty good to see. They really keyed in on a technique using these that we will do a future video on. We're going to do a video coming up, the different ways you can rig them, and there's many different retrieves, so we'll look at a few of those, so keep your eyes out for that one. But yeah, so if you're going to be fishing tournaments or doing any yellowbelly fishing, I definitely have a few soft vibes in my kit. The Jackall Transam seem to be the standout lure, but the ZX fish trap in the 95mm is also a great lure. These are 95s as well. This is the Ghost Red Belly Black colour. It's pretty much the staple in most Tordo fishers' box. I don't feel there's any need to use another colour because this one works so well at all the venues. Second up, we're going to look at blades. There's plenty of blades out there, but these guys here seem to be the real standout in the blade market. These are the Ecogear ZX40. They've been around for a while now. They sort of come out as a brim lure, but have just really taken off for the yellowbelly fishing. Like the Transams, they're fished best along the bottom. Unlike the Transams, you can fish the Transams with a bit heavier line and a bit more of a vigorous action. But these ZX40s, the fish seem to really key into them when you give them a long pause and just real slow hops, light leaders and real light hops. And it's kind of like brim fishing with plastics, where you're going to have a bit of slack in your line, and a lot of time they'll hit the bait while it's just dead sticked on the bottom. So it's real important that you've got a visible braid that you can see, and you can pick up any nicks in the line. Because that'll be the fish just slurping in, and for a big fish like a 10-pound yellowbelly, they can do the slightest tick, and if you're not paying attention, then you will miss it. Got a couple of colours there, a brown one and a black one. The black one is called the Dark Knight. It's that black with a bit of orange on it. That seems to be the go-to colour. It's a Winterby specialist, that colour. It's caught plenty of yellowbelly. It's my favourite lure. That's all. I've always got one tied on, so I definitely make sure there's a few of those in your box as well. Now, the third option we've got is the ever reliable TN60 from Jackall. In the Rattling version, these guys have been around for a long time, and they've really caught a lot of yellowbelly. And the beauty of these things is they're really good on bass as well. So if you haven't had a look into the calendar for this year's events, we're actually, AYC is going to be taking one event to Glenbourne, round 2, and it'll be a mixed species event. So especially at that event, if you've got a couple of these on, you're going to catch both species. It's going to be really effective on both. The beauty of these guys, we've looked at the Trans Am and the ZX40, is these guys are more of a mid-water bait. That's what I tend to use them for. They're really great for when you're cruising along on a bank, like a rocky bank, in 8 to 10 metres of water, and you're finding those fish sort of schooled up in the mid-water. They can be really hard to target with a lure like a Trans Am or a ZX40, when they're fished better with pauses on the bottom. These guys, however, go really well with a slow roll. So because they're a sinking bait, you can let them sink down. So you've got your fish sitting in 4 to 5 metres. You can let them sink down, and you can slow roll it back straight in that fish's face. And that's when they become really effective. Again, a bunch of colours. The black one up there, he's seen better days. Caught a lot of fish. It seems to be the way with all yellowbelly lures. Black just seems to be the colour. You will catch them on all sorts, but 90% of the time I would have a black lure tied in whatever lure it is. The TN60 does sort of have the lipless crankbait market wrapped up. They've sort of just been the go-to lipless crankbait for over 10 years now. They just catch fish, they work really well on a slow roll, and I don't think any other crankbaits sort of matched up to them. They've just been at the top for so long. One notable mention would be the Big Yellow Time Mazzy Vibes. They also come in a 60mm. And they have been quite effective. Timmy makes them up around Inverell, and I know at Copeton they go really well at Copeton. They catch a lot of fish on them up there, so they're definitely worth checking out as well. But either you can't go wrong. Fourth up is Gulp 3-inch grubs. Everyone should know about these because if the fish aren't on the bank, they're going to be sitting in the trees, and the best way to target them is by rolling one of these up the tree. Pretty straightforward technique. Pull up to a tree, either tie to the tree or use spot lock on your electric to hold you right over the tree, and just work around the tree and just drop them vertically straight down and just a slow roll back up. You can, if you know the fish are schooled up in that sort of whatever depth, 4 metres for example, you can just drop your bait there and sort of jig it at that 4 metres. But really, you get a lot of the time you'll find fish staged right throughout the tree, and just a slow roll from top to bottom will get your fish interested. It normally takes, you can do 20 rolls on a tree before you get a fish, or you can pull up and get a fish first drops. But yeah, when the fishing's tough on the banks, you've got to go to the trees normally for yellowbelly, and these are the lures that do it. I find it quite a boring way to fish. I'd much rather be throwing lures on the bank, but if you need to catch a bag of fish, you're going to have to use them. These are best fish with a jig head, obviously. 1/4 ounce head will normally get you out of trouble in most scenarios, down to about 10 to 12 metres. If you're going to be fishing trees that are deep in that, or submerged timber, you can go to a 1/2 ounce head, but normally most cases 1/4 ounce. Either in a Bassman jig head, they make a really good one. TTs also make one, and Berkley. So all the big name brands that make jig heads do have a jig head to suit these. Black go-to colour again. Berkley Gulp do make a range of colours, but black seems to be the standout, just like every yellowbelly lure. Last up, I've actually gone for a bit of a left field option. I'd say some of you would have been thinking, what is the 5th option? Because those first 4 lures that I have gone through are pretty much staple in most tournament anglers' box. Normally you'll be able to get the fish to bite on one of them. If you can't, then it's going to be a tough day. But one lure that I have found to have success on is a Jig Spin. So what I've got there is, it's kind of like a little spinnerbait, but it's just a 1/4 ounce head with a little paddle tail grub on the back of it, and then just a little spinnerbait arm, Jig Spin, with a little Colorado blade. Now you can pick these up at most good tackle stores, and basically all that does is just clip on your jig head and you just slow roll it out. So kind of like the lipless crankbait, I like to use this either when fish are sort of sitting mid-water, or they're in timber but you can't sort of get them on your grubs by vertically dropping them down and rigging them back up. You can actually cast at the structure and bring this horizontally back past the fish. These guys are actually really good on bass as well, so once again with that Glenbourne round for round 2, this is going to be a perfect mixed species lure. The bass love them. This is my go-to lure for bass, and it's pretty handy when the yellowbelly eat them too. If you're looking for a few extra lures to put in your box, I'd definitely include one of these guys. It's a left field option that might get you those fish that you can't seem to catch on the other 4. But if you've got these lures in your box, you should be pretty well equipped to tackle a yellowbelly. There you go guys, there's 5 baits that I like to use for yellowbelly, and I think they're pretty consistent amongst all the tournament anglers. Make sure you check them all out. I wouldn't be going yellowbelly fishing, especially in a comp, if I didn't have sort of those main 4 in my box. That's pretty much going to cover you in all instances, from the trees right through to all your bank fishing. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're going to have plenty of content coming out. We've got actually round 1 this weekend at Copeton Dam, so there'll be a video following that recap video, as well as some winner speeches and whatnot. So get the goss on how the guys went. Cheers.